Welcome, one and all, to another adventure in the great podcast we call Video Store Memoirs. I'm your host, Kevin Selena. Today I'll be talking to you about one of my favorite franchises of all time, James Bond. For those who know me, they know that I'm a simple man. There's certain ones that I just gravitate towards anytime they come out. There's Star Wars, there's Marvel, that's the nerd side of me, but my first love when it comes to franchises, movie-wise, adventure-wise, is James Bond. So today I'm going to be talking about the great movie Casino Royale. Little backstory on this. I'm the first James Bond movie I ever got to see was GoldenEye in the theater. So that to me has the nostalgia for me forever. GoldenEye to me is the, pardon the pun, gold standard when it comes to these movies. So after 4 outings with Pierce Brosnan, they announced that they're going to revamp, retool, do a prequel, and they're going to get a new actor to come in and do James Bond. I was heartbroken because, like I said, this was my James Bond. So the idea of somebody else coming in right then, not giving him his last movie, I didn't take this very well. I was like, oh, what the heck is this crap? They're going to get some little kid to play James Bond. It's going to be a James Bond Jr. movie. So, but then I curbed my apprehensions. I calmed down and I said, all right, let's just see what they do. And then the talk came about how they're doing a prequel showing first outings with James Bond based on the novel Casino Royale. And I was like, okay, I actually read this book. I can see where they're going with this. So, again, I shoved my feelings down. I said, let's see what they do. They introduce Mr. Daniel Craig as James Bond. And I didn't know what to think at first going into this movie because, you've gotten used to a certain type of thing seeing in James Bond movies. But from the trailer, it looked like it was going to have the action, it was going to have the intrigue. And I was not prepared for what I was about to experience because what they did with this movie was take it back to the early Sean Connery days. I'm going to explain this. They had moments in there. This movie was not about the gadgets and how he gets out of a jam with, using maybe his watch or something special that Q Branch gave him or anything like that. This was just straight up spy movie in every sense of the word. Guns, secrets, uncovering mysteries. It's what it had. It was great. The dialogue is fantastic. Daniel Craig proved he was the perfect and natural choice to take on the role of James Bond. For me, one thing that stood out in this movie more than anything is the first interaction that you see between Bond and M. In the past histories of the movies, James always got his mission from M going into the office. They sit down, they talk, they have a little chat. He basically says, all right, get out there, don't fuck it up. And that's how the movie would start. This was the first time you see Bond really on a mission. Actually, before he goes on his first actual mission as a 00, you see how he got his 00 status. For those of you who don't know, the 00 status is basically the first time you get 2 assassinations under your belt. That's when British Secret Service, this division, gives you your number as 00 whatever. So, he gets out on his first mission after the opening showing his first 2 kills. And after that, the mission, it was successful, but not in the way it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be low-key, undercover. If he has to kill someone, there's supposed to be nothing to lead him to anything with the British government. Well, that went right out the dang window, which was a spectacular action sequence, basically putting free running on the map with one of the actors, I believe Sebastian Kwan, I believe is the gentleman he Daniel Craig chases through a construction area into an embassy and so forth. But after that, the first interaction you see between M and Bond is at her home. He basically breaks into her place to use her computer and waits there to talk to her about how, hey, I messed up, but we still got the job done. And it's kind of refreshing that it's not just the straightforward forward all right, here's your debriefing, here's the information we have, uh here's the job we need you to do. It's basically she takes him behind the woodshed and says, "You know something? I just gave you this job. You're making me regret it instantly. What the fuck is wrong with you?" And it's a great rapport that Daniel Craig and Judi Dench has, who plays M. And then the movie just keeps going on from that. It's a little bit more investigation and dig in deeper to try and figure out where this rabbit hole leads to and where it ends. And you see an actual vulnerability as the movie goes on with Bond for the first time. You know he's very guarded, he's very closed off, um, from anyone who's seen any of the movies from the franchise before. But this is actually one of the first real stories that shows why he is afraid to trust people. And it's done brilliantly. Martin Campbell, this was his second outing doing the first movie for a new James Bond. Ironically, he also directed Goldeneye, hence why I also gave this movie all right, I gotta see it. The director who did one of my favorite of all time is directing the first one for Daniel Craig, so this is gonna be good. But anyway, like I'm saying, I thought they did a fantastic job with this setup of Bond in a prequel state, letting people see who he was before he became Bond. Because it's like kind of like people see with Batman Begins. He's not clean, he's not polished, he makes mistakes. He's still a badass, but he's nowhere near as suave and perfect as you see him in like the other 20 plus films in the James Bond history. So, but that's my opinion. I think this movie is fantastic. It's a great stepping off point to Daniel Craig's 5 movie run. Um, I give it 4 clamshells easily, probably better. I just watched it again for the first time. I'm sorry, for the first time again, I should say. And I, it's one of those I can just turn on at any time, let it go. If I'm in the middle of doing something, I can look up at the best parts because I know what's coming. It's that enthralling. It's that entertaining. It's rewatchability in its finest. But there it is. My thoughts on Casino Royale. Ladies and gentlemen, you can see it. Probably watch it anywhere. It's streaming right now. I do believe it's on Prime. It's on, you can find it on iTunes. And I do think it's also on Netflix at this time. Check it out at your leisure. You will not regret it. Once again, my name is Kevin Selena. I thank each and every one of you for checking in with little old me to see what I have to say about movies. We got a couple more movies coming this month. I think we got at least one more that has to do with the Olympics at this time. And then we're going to move into all of our normal, actually a couple of requests sent in by you fine people. So once again, thank you so much for looking in, listening in. Video Store Memoirs. You can find us anywhere, as you already did. Check us out on TikTok, on Instagram, on Facebook, everywhere. Type us in, you'll find us. My name is Kevin Selena. I really appreciate every single one of you. Take care. Enjoy the movie.